Perfect.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Reaction Therapy. I am your resident psychotherapist, Tom Stevens, here to break down lyrics to some awesome music. I'm excited today because we get to announce another giveaway request that we did. Nick, on our podcast, had a contest for people to check out what was one thing I said during the podcast that if you could watch it and you could find the detail, you would get the answer to. One thing that Tom really liked to do a long time ago. The answer was middle school girls basketball that I coached, and there were tons of submissions into that on Instagram that DM'd me, and several that got the right answer. So we did a drawing, and out comes Ryan Lennon. You picked it, you got it, and your selection for your choice, you go to the front of the line, Ryan. You picked Sober by Tom MacDonald. So I have a feeling we're going to get into some good mental health today. Tom MacDonald, from what I gather, is super controversial. I'm noticing this is probably going to be something about addiction, and we're going to look at some serious, hardcore issues here. I hope I can keep up. I hope I can get it. But Ryan, thanks so much for watching the podcast, for being a part of Reaction Therapy, for subscribing, and for answering that question correctly. Good job, and this one's for you. Remember, we're trying to spread mental health awareness to the world through music and lyrics. This is one way to do it. Check the Discord server, the merch we have, and go over to our Patreon page. Great content over there. You might just enjoy it. Without further ado, Ryan, this one's for you. I just rhymed that. Let's get into it. Tom MacDonald and Sober.
What up, y'all? My name's Tom.
Oh my gosh. Straight up in a 12-step meeting. He comes in raw, man. He is coming in. You know, whenever you see people who come in to a 12-step meeting after they haven't been in either in a long time or ever, is they look like they need a good bath. That's kind of the old adage that's used in 12-step. They just don't look clean enough. And he's coming in hardcore, and it feels like he's coming in like hard, like he's just talking straight up. Man, what's up? How's everybody? I want to hear this meeting and see what he does with his therapy here. Everybody just looking down, looking around, all sad.
What up, y'all? My name's Tom. Little while back was an alcoholic. Had a mental breakdown like a year ago. Came close to put me in a coffin. Damn. After the hooker I loved, after I did all the drugs, after I finally got fired for showing up late to the job, hella tired and drunk. After the oxys, I put up my nose with my boss on the oil rigs when I was young. After my ex cut her wrists and the cops thought I stabbed her and beat me, then put me in cuffs. After I totaled my car trying to run from the cops with a kilo of coke in the trunk. After I drank till I rotted my teeth out, my head got infections in all of my gums. After I couldn't get hard cause the vodka and porno sedated me till I was numb.
This is too much. This is intense. Like, he doesn't let up. I mean, I appreciate it. You know, I love this stuff because I do it every day when it comes to addiction, when it comes to 12-step, when it comes to just all of the stuff he's listing here. Like, he's not just listing one or two things. Like, man, I'm an alcoholic. Man, I'm a drug addict. Man, I'm a sex addict. He's got every possible addiction rolling here at this point, other than food, I think. But he is just saying, look, a little while back I was an alcoholic. Almost killed myself, right? And then after all this and this and this and this and this, he's done all this stuff. These people got to be sitting there going, man, this is what happens in 12-step meeting. You look around, you hear these stories like this, and you're like, man, I'm not that bad. Maybe I don't belong here. Like, he's really bad. Like, I think maybe I need to not come back. Like, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. But the truth is, no. This is just a story of a guy who you could become very easily within a short period of time. Remember that if there's any addiction floating around in your system or your history or genetics, is you could very easily end up there even though you think you can't. I've worked with many people who are teetering the line of hard addiction. And I told them, you are dancing a fine line. And 6 months later, they were down deep in the streets, in jail, in treatment, in the hospital, all kinds of things. So pay attention because this is where anybody could be at any point.
Trying to run from the cops with a kilo of coke in a trunk. After I drank till I rotted my teeth out, my head got infections in all of my gums. After I couldn't get hard cause the vodka and porno sedated me till I was numb. After I couldn't escape from the basement I rented and went to go live with my mom. After I cheated on people I needed and lied trying to hide from the guy that I was. Then I got sober, the madness was over. Now I am proud of the man I become.
So cool. Yes. I love this. I love hearing stories of people who overcome. I love hearing stories of people. You know, if you talk to somebody who's been in addiction and especially recovery, and they've gone to 12-step to go into treatment, they changed their lives. I'm telling you this. Whenever you talk to an addict, if they're in recovery, you can say, how have the temptations going? How have the urges been going? How have the thoughts been going lately? And they'll say, man, it's been rough. Last week was rough. This week, really good. Last week, I had that same urge to use. I didn't use or anything, but I had that urge and I could feel it. If you talk to somebody who has been in addiction and isn't recovering, isn't getting better, they will get defensive. What do you mean? What are you talking about? No, I haven't had any urges. No, I'm feeling great. Everything's fine. They'll get really defensive. So remember that. That's kind of a clue in there. And he's just saying, I'm going to put my life out there. This is everything I've done. Once there are no more secrets, you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to defend. It's all out there. His whole life's out there. And then he's like, after all this stuff, I got sober. I was cleaned up. You know what? I'm proud of myself now. And do you see how he sits back in his chair? It's like, this is who I've become. I love it. I just can't even imagine what comes next. We can stop the song right there. It's like he put himself out there. I went through all this. I did all this. I don't do that anymore. And when I got sober, that's what helped stop all this stuff.
Hide from the guy that I was. Then I got sober. The madness was over. Now I am proud of the man I become. Yeah. I'm finding someone that I know again.
Yes. Yes.
I started climbing out the hole I'm in. Fighting demons and I know I'll win. It's time for me to mend these broken ways.
That says this is Nova Rockafeller. Pretty sweet how they harmonize that whole thing. And the other people are going on with the meeting. But it's just talking about I had to overcome. And it's a lot of work to recover, y'all. It's a lot of work to become that person who cleans your life up and stays that way. It's one thing to quit for a day. It's one thing to quit for a week. It's another to quit day after day from here on the rest of your life. It takes a lot of energy, and you have to be able to take time to repair. It's just like gaining weight, right? It seems so easy to gain weight and so hard to lose it. It takes so much diligent time. Same with going broke, bankruptcy. So easy to go broke, so hard to save it all back.
Then I know I'll win. It's time for me to mend these broken ways. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever.
Yeah.
I had my scars, I'll always remember when I lost it all and never surrendered.
I did not expect this from Tom MacDonald. I expected like hard rap the entire time going at it. I expected the very beginning when he was being so intense the whole time. But we got a little singing, a little melody, a little harmonizing going on here that I think is really sweet. And I love this. Like, this is really cool for me to see like a different kind of person in Tom MacDonald and what he has to say, because there seems like there's just been so much controversy with him. I don't know anything about it. I really don't get involved in all that, but I like to listen to the song I listen to and not judge who the person is and say, I'm never going to listen to them again. Forget it. Otherwise, I would have quit Suicide Boys a long time ago, right? But I really like listening to them now. I've learned a lot about them.
What up, y'all? My name's Madchild. I've been off to Xannies for a while now. I was waking up feeling...
Who is that? It's Madchild and Nova Rockafeller. So that was in the. So that's Madchild, another artist. So cool. I didn't even know that. Oh, another story. Y'all, these stories are great because what I've heard so far with all the addiction I've worked with, this is truth. This is reality.
What up, y'all? My name's Madchild. I've been off to Xannies for a while now. I was waking up feeling suicidal, but I think I'm finally starting to smile now. Man, I lived a hell of a life. I've been to hell and back twice. Lost $10 million through different addictions. Don't tell me about paying the price. From penthouses with top models, hanging with strippers with pop bottles. Anxious and hiding alone in my room from the world. I was pissing in pop bottles.
He's describing such a high and fast lifestyle that anybody would want, right? Money, the fame, the women, the treasures, you can have anything. But he's like looking like he's dying here in this video and sweating and miserable and just all alone. Oh, wow. Just how horrible it can be, man. Don't judge a book by its cover, because some people who have it all have nothing.
Hanging with strippers with pop bottles. Anxious and hiding alone in my room from the world. I was pissing in pop bottles. From chart top and being a role model to flop records and lost follows. When I cop product, got a month's worth. When I left the spot, cops followed. Saw a photo, it was only face, cause I was 85 pounds overweight. Mental breakdown trying to catch a plane. Wasn't Madchild, I was only Shane. My puppy Lola was my only gang. Had to put my baby in a grave. I walked away from every brick I laid so I could build a new world.
Put his baby in the grave? I wonder if that was the dog he's talking about, or if that was actually... I need to hear what the story is here. And with Madchild and Tom MacDonald, are these actually their stories, or is this just a song that was written about stories that could be so truthful? Like, these can be so truthful. And I'm guessing it's the actual stories, but let me know what this is, because his voice is so unique too, but he's being more hardcore and intense. This is intense, man. He looks intense.
Mental breakdown trying to catch a plane. Wasn't Madchild, I was only Shane. My puppy Lola was my only gang. Had to put my baby in a grave. I walked away from every brick I laid so I could build a new wall to keep me safe.
I'm finding someone that I know again. I started climbing out the hole I'm in.
Yeah.
Fighting demons and I'm not.
And they keep showing all these different people and all they're going through, crying, breaking down. It's so hard. And both of those stories, though, were ending with so they could build something back up, so they could create something better, so they could overcome and they didn't have to live in the chains of addiction anymore. In recovery.
It's time for me to mend these broken wings. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever.
It's a war you'll fight forever. I know y'all probably get mad at me for stopping like this, but this is a war. This relates to so many people. It is a war that you fight forever. It's not miserable forever. Don't get me wrong. Like, when people recover from addiction, their lives get better. The life actually does get easier. But it's something you can never let your guard down on. It's something you can never just go back to and pretend it's okay all over again.
When you fall down and the world's closing in, you can get up again, up again. Life has been hard, I know it gets better. This is a war that I'll fight forever.
When it gets brutal, y'all, you can get back up again. You really can. You don't have to succumb to it. You don't have to fall and crater. All these people in this meeting, so miserable. They're so down. But when you latch on to that idea that I just don't have to be this miserable ever again, and this substance I'm using, this thing that's bringing me down, this addiction I'm held hostage to, has convinced me of a lie. It's told me that I'm only sane, I'm only healthy, I can only make it if I have it. And that's completely false. You're only going to die if you have that. You're only going to suffer more if you have that. It will bring you further down. So getting away from it and learning to live a healthy life with healthy people in healthy situations is the way we actually change our lives, recover, and get away from all that misery. So good.
It's a war that I'll fight forever.
I love this melody and this harmony here, the two of them, because it's intense and they're going at it, but also they're celebrating. I think it's a celebration. And the celebration of sobriety is so needed because one day sober, when you've spent such a long time in addiction, has got to be celebrated. If you've ever been to a gathering or a convention or a 12-step meeting of any kind, and a person walks in the door who is just now sober on their first day, they are celebrated. They are lifted up as good job coming in here. Good job looking out for you. Now the hard work begins, but you have a place to get better. And it's very hard to do this sober thing on your own. So you need the help from outside people. That's why they're showing this group here. Sober, Tom MacDonald and Madchild featuring Nova Rockafeller. So good, Ryan. That was well done. I can't believe we have not reacted to this one yet. It makes me want to get into more Tom MacDonald. And I know people have commented on it and people have given me recommendations and requests, but boy, I'm going to have to talk to Nick now because I think I want to hear some more Tom MacDonald. It's pretty cool. I think his supporters are called the Hangover Gang, I guess. And man, kudos to you. But you know what? Hangover Gang, now's your turn. Give me your feedback. Give me your insight. Give me your comments on what this means, what it's about, who these people are, what the story is behind this, and anything else that I need to know because I'm a fan. I loved it. It got me going. I love dealing with addiction. I love dealing with recovery on top of that. And I love hearing stories like this that paint a true picture of life. So cool. Ryan, awesome. Great job. Thanks for being a part of our podcast and doing the contest and watching the podcast and winning. Love it. Great request. Everybody remember, this isn't real therapy, just Tom breaking down lyrics to music. If you want professional help, check the link in the description of this video. There are resources there. And thank you for being a part of Reaction Therapy. Our hearts are happy here, me and Nick, for what you do to support us, that you've stuck with us this long, that this family's grown so large, and we get to see music like this. It's just so much fun. Also, go over and check our Patreon page because there is some good content over there you might be interested in. Thanks for being here, and I can't wait to see you on the next Reaction Therapy.